Charlie's a great guy.
Oh my gosh, seriously. Yeah. So yeah, it was.
He's got a wife and a baby girl. Yeah.
Golly Moses.
And he's just cute.
Yeah.
And talented.
I'm gonna brag about all of these guys when we get on the air,
good.
because it was a really fun night last night.
Well, good. I'm glad you came in, because
you're like, what am I gonna talk about all day?
Yeah. In fact, Sarah was gonna come in, and she really had a lot of stuff to do before we, leave, and so she texted me. She goes, "Oh, I don't have to come in now." I said, "You can if you want to."
I almost said, "Sarah, you should come too. I want to see." Lucy, what is your dealio, baby?
I'm sure she's running behind on packing and stuff.
I'm just thirsty. Should I get you some water from? She was in a mood this morning.
Oh.
She would not settle down in the car.
Maybe it's just that's what I was going to say. Here we go. Here with our surprise guest of the day, Rigby Summer. Good morning.
Howdy.
And Lucy too. Yeah. You were just saying she's acting kind of weird today.
Yeah, I think she knows the weather's changing. I think she feels all that stuff. She's been in a funny mood this morning. But...
Well, it's crazy weather. It's not just a typical weather change.
No, it's nuts. It's nuts.
Well, how are you?
I'm tired right now.
You had a late night at Georgia Stable, didn't you?
Oh my gosh, yeah, but we had such a good time last night. We had Song Swap last night, and it's always fun, but then every few months we have the ones where it's just like everybody shows up, and it was a blast. They were having one of the organizational meetings for Gypsy Cafe yesterday, and so a lot of those folks came over after the meeting was done and all hung out, and so got to introduce Katie to some new Payne County guys that she hadn't heard before, and so it just Katie Dale.
Red Dirt Relief. She just had a birthday.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah,
that's right.
So who else was there? Do some name dropping.
All right, let's drop some names. So Chad Solons and I kicked things off. I had that 6 o'clock spot open to play with me, and he was down for it because he's actually going to be at Monday at Modella on Monday night, which is going to be awesome.
Yes.
And then let's see, we had Janice Francis Smith came in from Oklahoma City.
Doing? You need to bring her back sometime.
Well, I guess she played last year maybe at the gallery. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like everything's in fast forward now. I don't even know. Yeah. And she played alongside Stan Weston.
Oh, I don't know Stan.
You're gonna know Stan.
Okay.
Because this dude, y'all are gonna think I'm crazy.
We already do. It's okay,
baby. I don't take this lightly when I say this. The kid can play a banjo.
Oh.
And I'm not I like banjo in measurable amounts. But he composes stuff on banjo that's actually really interesting, that isn't too overly
banjo.
So he came and played some of his instrumental stuff, but then he also had a couple songs that he sang too, and he's kind of just getting started, and I'm already planning to snatch him up as a sideman, because I was like, no, you are exactly what I've been looking for, because he plays a few different things. He plays harmonica, and I told him everybody that I'm used to playing with, that I love having play with me, who's awesome, are already snatched up by 7 bands, because you find a great sideman and everybody says, hey, there's a so I was let it be known, I got dibs. So because Nick has played with me a lot, Nick Gedra, but he's playing with everybody, and now in the middle of being engaged and getting married and all that busyness, and of course I love playing with Kyle, but he's all the way down in Norman, and he plays with everyone every night of the week
in his own group.
So you got to get on his schedule well in advance. It's a rare time that I can just be like, hey Kyle, you want to play on Saturday, and it works out. So anyway, so that was exciting to meet new talent too. And then let's see, after him we had I'm so tired, my brain is
because
I'm literally gonna have to look at this because I'm so this is probably the worst idea to come here and like talk on the radio because
we thought it was a great idea.
Sleepy. Like,
we're happy you're here.
You don't know what's going to come out of her mouth.
Well, that's what I say about us.
Right? So then at 8-ish, because we ran everything late last night, we just had a great time.
Fun.
Right? Charlie Hickman came because Tyler, who was supposed to play, Tyler?
Seems?
Forgive me. No.
No?
Tyler, if that's not your name and you know who I'm talking about, I'm tired. I'm sorry. I'm going to look up that name because I'm trying not to use bad words because I get really excited and
freaking awesome.
Use them in good ways. He's really stinking good, but he got sick and lost his voice yesterday. And so he was like, I hope it's okay. I called he plays in Charlie's band.
Okay.
And he's like, I called Charlie and he said he's willing to fill in if that's okay with you. And I was like,
sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because number one, I'd never heard Charlie play, even though I know all these people that play with him. And I'd never met him. And so that was a super fun treat to have him play along with Matt Williams, which if you haven't met Matt Williams, you need to because his voice is like butter and he plays crazy guitar. And so that was a fun matchup. And then we had Braden Hobbs come through, who also is just incredible young talent, and Dyson Gorham.
Okay.
So they finished the SWAT part of the evening, but somewhere in there, Isaac McClung showed up, and so we were like, Isaac, you have to come play a few songs. And so he got up and played a couple songs. Rick Owens was there. He decided to come up and play songs. Reagan Parkerson, his one song, exactly. He tried to get 2 out of me, and I was like, you have another one? We don't have time for that. I love you, but we don't have time for that. And then the guys closed it out with Boys from Oklahoma, and it was just like we were there playing until at least 11, I think. We broke all the rules, and then most of us stayed until they turned on the lights. Which, if you've stayed all the night at George's, you know what that's like when the fluorescents come on. You're like,
whoa,
what's happening?
Guess that's time to go.
And then we were talking outside afterwards and making sure that people who were maybe not safe were getting to where they needed to be safely. And I got home and ended up having a short conversation with my guy, and then all of a sudden it's like 3:45 and I'm going, I have to wake up for work in 2 hours. What's the point? So I did my work, and then I saw your post. I was literally about to say, all right, I'm going to do this I teach online, my last lesson, and then I'm going to go back to bed. And I saw your post, and I was like, no.
What?
Why don't I drive to Cushing?
Sleep's overrated.
Great. Totally overrated. So that was about a 10-minute stream of consciousness for me. Hey, guys.
Very good, though. And you're double fisting the drinks this morning.
Okay, you want to know the worst?
Uh-oh.
So I'm like, I'm not going to be able to do this uncaffeinated. And I've never had this experience, but it's like the 3 worst words to see on your Starbucks app if you're a caffeine addict and you're running behind. I tried to do my mobile order, which I never do, but I was like, I need to just swing in, get it, and get on the road. And they're going to be like, will you tell that girl to shut up? Is that what they're calling? And I open up my app, I like put in my order, and I go to tap the Hall of Fame location, and it says, pickup not available. And I was like,
what?
This must be a mistake. Like, are you kidding me? So that's why I was rolling super hot, because I had to actually wait in line with the peasants.
Don't they know who you are?
I know, right?
Rigby Summer's here. Give her coffee. She needs it. She's going to the Kush.
Going to the Kush. So, yes, I'm double-fisted. I have my water and my latte. And
now, what kind of latte?
An iced vanilla latte, because I'm just that basic.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but I only get like 6 ice cubes.
Oh.
You can ask if you go in there. If you were to order that for me, they would be like, oh.
Oh, that's for Rigby.
I know who this is for. Yeah. True story.
Well,
so what's up with you?
Hey, did you see that we're nominated for
I know.
the We Are Tulsa
I
music.
feel like kind of a big deal getting to be here with you.
Oh, well, it's because of people like you, Rigby.
Oh, I don't know about
that. We got the nomination.
Didn't y'all host that last year?
No.
You hosted something, didn't you?
Not that. I don't know what we hosted.
You hosted something. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In my dreams you did. Maybe I'm manifesting that for you.
Maybe so. Maybe next year.
There you go.
Well, we already got it planned, or I have.
Yeah.
That if we don't win, one of us doesn't win, then...
One of you doesn't win?
Well, yeah, because we're each on it. It's not a duo.
You're not, like, nominated as the morning show?
No.
Oh, strange.
Yeah, it's radio personality. So people have to choose between us. I know.
But you can't really have one without the other.
Right. Yeah, we've had...
This is like a chicken egg sort of conversation.
Yeah, which came first. Yeah, well, I did come first.
It's so cute that she thinks I can hear her too, but I don't have the headphones on.
I know. And I'll tell you only what you need to hear.
Okay. Oh, man.
Now, our listeners will know, but they can tell you later.
Yeah, so are y'all excited about that?
Well, I think that we'd love to make it through that first round because the voting for the top 4 is this month. And so we'd love to make that top 4.
Sure.
And then if we don't win...
And if you both make it into the top 4, then you've got like
I know.
a 50-50 chance, right?
Well, of one of us winning.
We need to strategize this, y'all.
I know.
Workshop it a little.
So, but one way or another, I think I'm going to just storm the stage at Cain's. Do you think that's...
I think you should.
Yeah. Like, that is my award. Now, we had Roger Seco yesterday, who is the one.
That's right. I saw that.
Right. And he did say that there will be security there. And
he made a point to say that to you.
Did. Well, maybe
he's familiar with your work.
he's been following for a while. So, it could be interesting. But fun. Cain's. Now, haven't you gone to play on the Cain's?
Nope.
Oh, not yet.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
But
you have a new single out.
I do. Right?
Yeah, I've heard that. Are you just pretty stoked about that?
I am. The single that I put out came out 2 weeks ago today, on the 27th. That's my first digital release or anything like that, so that I could launch on my platforms getting ready for the record. It's a song that's not on the record. So a random song that I wrote last spring after Shani and I got back from Elko. I think I might have played it here once.
Yeah, you might have.
And I did just a scratch recording of it the morning after I finished it, and it was like a rainy April morning, and I had the windows open, and I was just when I finish a song, I'll play it into my voice notes a bunch of times in different keys to figure out where
the best
it actually should land, because what I think feels the best might not be what actually sounds the best. And I had one recording that came out for a new song like almost perfectly, and then during the introduction, there's this gentle roll of thunder that perfectly landed in there. And then during the instrumental break, there's another perfect little rumble of thunder that like we couldn't have like programmed it in there and made it sound the way it did. And so the next day, I think, was Kyle's and my last work day. He came up to Stillwater to do some recording with me, and we threw some more of Nick's work on a couple of tracks, and then we were going to be donezo so he could start mixing everything. And we had a little bit of time when we were finished, and I said, he's like, "Do we have anything else that we need to work on today?" And I was like, well, I had this thing and I needed an extra track, and so could we maybe like check this out, at least just play it? I don't know if we can use this as a bass or blah blah blah. So I play it for him. And of course he loves recording things like outside and like collecting sounds along with, he just is into that sort of thing. So I had a feeling he'd be down for it. And sure enough, he listened to it. He was like, yeah, we can totally work with that. So up it went into his computer. We spent like 10 or 15 minutes catching like a killer fiddle part and maybe 1 or 2 takes from Nick. And then Kyle took it home and threw a little pedal steel on it. And it is just dreamy. It's just, it sounds One of my friends actually who loves the song was like, it's totally different from everything on the record in a good way. Like it's the tone of the song is different, the style of the song is different. Like it's just a total diversion from a lot of the rest of the record, and it just sounds like an old sweet cowboy waltz ballad.
Aww.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm really proud of it. I really love it. It's largely because I have great people to work with, but yeah.
Yeah. So what's it like to hear yourself with all of the things, all the tracking and all that stuff?
It's magic.
Yeah.
Well, because I think I've told you before, like some of the songs on the full record, I wrote like a long time ago.
Yeah.
Because I started like baby writing songs like, I don't know, more than 15 years ago before I was doing anything with it. And one of my favorite songs is Kentucky. That's like, I call that the oldest song that I wrote that I kept.
Yeah.
And I wrote that in 2003, maybe?
Oh, so it's been a while.
So like when we recorded, it was like 15 years old. Legit.
Yeah.
And Kyle like has Force Link or something and is like able to just like read your mind, because I'll say like fumble through my explanation of what I think something should sound like, and he's like, oh yeah, maybe a little
and
like
then he
this,
makes it
and then he just makes it happen. So some of these songs, it's literally like what has been in my mind for these songs since I wrote them,
and now
it actually
exists now.
Is there, like very true to how I imagined it.
Well, I'm going to stop you right there.
That's
and
fine.
then we're going to listen to some news, and then you're going to play a little something for us.
I want to play something. So.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
You're listening to Home with the Cush Girls, 1600 KUSH Cushing.
Yeah.
Still on that.
Did I say I'm sleep deprived and caffeinated?
Well,
because
you know, that's what it is on here.
Stream
like,
of consciousness.
I have had like a night right in sleep. You're thirsty, girl. What? Did you hear that? Did you hear the door shut? You're such a good girl.
She is a sweet pea.
Yeah. I love Lucy.
Everybody does. Even people who don't like dogs.
Yeah. Yeah, we have some, quite a few, like Monica's. Mm-hmm. She's so sweet too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't kiss me. I forgot my lip gloss.
Aww.
I had it in my hand. I must have.
Yeah, we'll just have to settle for hugs today.
Okay. Save it up.
Yeah, for next time. Or I'll just put you in the...
No.
Here we go.
Nope.
Here with surprise guest Rigby Summer, who decided to come on over when she saw we didn't have any guests coming in. Saved the day. Yes. Well, you're our friend, Rigby.
Well,
more than just a guest.
I was thinking about how it's almost our anniversary.
It is.
Next month.
In February, wasn't it? The first time you came on?
4 years.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
You were doing the
not this at all.
You did do a little of this, but it was...
Well, that was an accident that year. That was when that guy in Kansas called me out of the blue and asked me to play my song at his wedding at the same time that y'all called and said, we heard that you write songs. Do you want to come be on the radio? And I was like, I don't do this anymore.
Well,
so
blame us.
I will allow it.
Okay.
It's the best kind of friend to have.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Well, and we're looking forward to meeting Reverend Hilton. Now, am I have to be good?
Is he good?
No, am I going to have to be good? With the, with a name
it's
like
a stage moniker,
yeah.
as we like to do. Some of us, as you know. No, he's. You'll be good.
Oh, okay.
You can be you.
Oh, good.
Yep.
And he can be. But he
sorry,
is
Justin.
I'm
apologizing in advance.
So, how do you know him though?
We played on the same bill at this really cool thing that my friend Christina Eltravogue puts on in Ottawa, Illinois.
Okay.
I was out there in October when I did my Easterly run in October, and she does this thing called Song and Story. It's this cool little pop-up listening room in a radio station.
Cool.
A community radio station in downtown Ottawa, Illinois. And they have this great little room they've set up, and she like hires videographers to come like do the whole thing, and they pretty much packed the room.
Wow.
Like, we played for, I don't know, probably 60 or 70 people. I'm just guessing. The room was full. I'm not very good at estimating these things. I felt good about it.
Yeah.
But there were 4 or 5 of us on the bill, and Reverend Hilton, sorry. Gosh, I'm a jerk.
Right, I'm gonna start calling you naughty if you don't call him.
That's fine. It happens.
Yeah.
He does like 200 plus states a year and pretty much lives in his van. Like, he collects his mail in Georgia, but is on the road. And so he was parking in front of Christina and Matt's house to sleep for the night, and I was staying at their house. And so when we got back from the show, like, we all stayed up talking and telling stories, and you know, like we do. And so I got to know him better than the other folks on the bill that night. And he was getting ready to come to play in Norman, like just a couple weeks after that. I can't remember where I think he played the Deli. I don't remember. He played somewhere in Norman. And he was telling me that he was trying to come back to Oklahoma after that. And I said,
I got you.
Let's
a little
make it
something.
so.
Mm-hmm.
So
Manifest it.
yeah.
And now he'll be he'll be one of the singers on Monday.
Yep, he'll be there Monday with Chad Solons, and then there were 2.
I know, that's going to be a fun
really
show.
Fun night.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be really good.
Yeah, I'm gonna hopefully I can come over to that.
If you miss it, you're dumb.
Well, I'm not always the sharpest knife in the drawer.
I'm a straight shooter.
Yes, you
and
are.
I'm gonna
especially when you
you
haven't had any sleep.
Any filter that I had, which is why I'm finding myself really trying to catch words coming out of my mouth right now, because I just have no filter left.
Well,
right
good
now.
for you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great show. It starts 7:30.
Mm-hmm.
Doors open about 7:15.
Yep.
Recommended $10 cover.
Yep.
And bring your lawn chair. If
yeah,
you
can bring your own chair. Bring your cooler with your refreshments if you like. Families are welcome. It's so if you have music-loving kids,
or maybe you want them to become music lovers.
Yeah, as long as they are children who are of the ilk that can sit still for a hot minute, and if they can only sit still for 30 hot minutes, then come for 30 minutes and leave. It's fine.
Yeah.
We're like, it feels very formal when you walk in, but we're pretty
It's pretty
open,
laid back.
Pretty laid back.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, you brought your guitar. Now this is a newer guitar.
I have a guitar.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I know I'm telling you all sorts of things about yourself this morning.
No, when Ed Dupas was here in September playing, as I usually do, I took him to Daddy-O's. Like I do any of the out-of-town folks. If we have time, let's go look at guitars and hang out at Daddy-O's and meet the guys over there. And I had been looking for a parlor-sized guitar. In my dreams, I want a little, like, Gibson B25 someday, but that's an old one, which they had at Daddy-O's last spring, and I missed the bus, but that's another story. This was much less expensive and new, and between Nick and Ed and my just coming off of my summer job in Wyoming and having a little money burning a hole in my pocket, I was like, this, and I was getting ready to travel, so I was like, I think it's time. I think this is a guitar, so
it's pretty.
So we got it. Thank you. And I'm told that I've upgraded my sound.
Oh.
Whatever that means.
Okay.
I didn't realize it needed that much of an upgrade,
well,
but
maybe
it feels
didn't
good.
Need it, but it just enhanced what you already had.
And it suits me. I like it. It's a cute little guitar.
Yes, it's lovely like you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you want fast or slow, happy, sad?
Whatever you want to do this morning. You were kind enough to drop everything like sleep that you were getting ready to do. So yeah,
this is going to be a little bit of a crapshoot because of the voice and spending like 8 hours in a smoky bar.
Yeah.
Last night, maybe more. I was talking about songs that came out so magically, like almost exactly how they sounded in my head. This is one of them. It's probably my, I don't know if I can say it's my favorite track on the record, but it might be. It's a song called New York or LA, so we're gonna give it a whirl.
Alrighty, Rigby Summer here on the Kush.
Do you think you can hide from me? It's wishful thinking, you will see. I know you love me like those games you play in New York, in LA, in New York, in LA. If in Denver or the Great Plains, Tampa, I love you all the same. You can try to hide, but there's no hiding away. Not in New York, not in LA, not in New York, not in LA. Give it up, baby. It's more than certain, not a baby, that I'll find you. So give it up, baby, and tell me, tell me, tell me. 'Cause every step on every street is just the rhythm of my heartbeat. I know you love me, but running's just your way. I know your hopes and I know your fears. I know the story that brought you here. There's nothing left for us to do or say. You're in New York, I'm in LA. You're in New York, I'm in LA. Give it up, baby. It's more than certain, not a baby, that I'll find you. So give it up, baby, and tell me, tell me, tell me. Tell me that you needed space. I'm just waiting for the day you bring your weary heart to me and say to give it up, baby. It's more than certain, not a baby, that I'll find you. So give it up, baby, and tell me, tell me, tell me. To give it up, baby. It's more than certain, not a baby, that I'll find you. So give it up, baby, and tell me, tell me, tell me. Is it New York? Is it LA? Is it New York? Is it LA?
Rigby Summer here at the Kush. I like it.
Thank you.
I like it. And you did a great job singing this morning.
Well, thanks. I mean, I was kind of fishing for that, but thanks.
Well, you did. I know it's hard, especially when you have been playing all night and, like you said, a smoky bar, and then
And I'm playing that, I'm like, it's in the same key that I usually play it in, but it somehow feels lower. I don't know why. Voices are funny, man. Bodies are funny, but
now, when is the album coming out?
that's an excellent question. I am sitting on the first run of the masters right now. That I don't know that I'm going to have anything to change about it. Like Adam Taylor at Creaky Floor Studios, which I think, incidentally, is a really funny name for
Creaky
a studio. Because I think, man, if you had a creaky floor, you would not want that to be your studio. But maybe that's the point.
Yeah.
But no, he did a killer job on the mastering. Like, you know, Kyle mixed it and sounded great. I mean, I was happy with it, but there's just like this some magic that happens with that next level, and Adam, in my opinion, nailed it. And so I'm super excited about that. I picked up I had him burn me some CDs so I could listen to it in my van. And so I'm not gonna lie, I've been driving around listening to myself this week because it's just
you're
it's
your
exciting.
worst critic though.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You can ask Kyle. I was not easy to work with when it came to vocals because I'd be like, nope, that's not right, and he's like, it sounds good to me, and I was like, nope, it's not. We have to do it again. And so I am shooting for actually waiting until June to release the full record. I'm going to start releasing singles. Probably in 3 or 4 weeks, I'll start releasing about one a month. I just can't decide which one should come first.
I was just going to ask you. That's a hard decision too. It's like,
it is.
Which one do I want to put out there first?
And in streaming culture, these days, what I'm doing makes a lot of sense promotionally. But I'm being told by radio people that it doesn't make sense radio-wise, and I'm kind of like, well, I'm having to figure out how to run the balance, and I feel like right now it's more important to figure out how to create momentum and get into as many ears as possible, and I don't know that I have the connections yet to make that happen radio-wise, so I'm going to focus on what I think is the right thing to do right now, since I don't have anybody else telling me what to do. I'm just learning everything I can and doing the best with what I got. So, yeah.
Now, what is your thinking? Do you have other people that you go to and say, well, which one of these do you think I should release first?
That's what I'm trying to figure out right now. I have a slew of people that I've sent my Dropbox to over the course of the last 6 months that we've been working on mixes. It's hard sometimes to get actual feedback from people because somebody sends you something, even if it's your friend. Like I'm guilty of it too. Like a friend will send me blah blah blah, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll listen to it, and then you just forget and you don't. Right. And so, that is something I'm trying to figure out right now. Like if some of my radio friends are willing to have a good listen, and there are all kinds of theories about how you should choose the first. The first single from your record and blah blah blah, and I don't know, and it's just everything is changing so fast right now and how all of that works.
Yeah, because anyway, the formula 10 years ago completely looks different now.
Right. And radio stations, which used to love singles, a lot of them don't anymore. They want you to send the whole disc, and I'm like, but I don't want you to have the whole disc yet. Yeah, I want you to talk about this.
Yeah. Well,
in due time, you will
here, Hugh Foley, of course, is our program director, so he gets a lot of CDs through music. And he likes the whole disc. Yeah. Yeah. And Americana charting, it doesn't matter which song off.
Which I only recently learned. Yeah. Which is bonkers. I learned that from Ed.
Yeah. It's so... maybe the single you're pushing, right? Since I'll just use Hugh since he's our guy, but that may not be the one that he thinks is the best fit, but it's still going to promote your record, right? Right. On the Americana chart.
Well, and I'm even reading about how a lot of times what's happening now is the radio influencers are actually starting by going to streaming and seeing what's being popular there and then choosing from there. So I'm like, well, then maybe I do just stick with my thing and don't worry about sending it to anybody until I have the whole record ready to release. Anyway, and do it my way, do what I'm doing. Right. Some friends who I feel like have been pretty successful have been doing what I'm planning to do. Yeah. And so I don't know.
You just got to go with the gut.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm working on that. Yeah. But yeah, it's funny talking to Ed about a lot of this stuff. It's just a numbers game, and he had a goal of breaking the Americana 100 with this last record, which he's done. And when he told me what the numbers are, how many spins you would have to get in a week in order for that to happen, I'm like, well, shoot, that actually sounds really doable if you work your relationships and make it happen. So I don't know.
Work with the Kush. We influence the Americana chart.
And it's all just so we can have a reason to talk about ourselves,
Right. And get people out to shows.
And convince them that they should listen to you. So listen to me, please.
Listen to Rigby. We love it.
And when I say my record is going to be really good, and it is really good, it's not just because they're my songs. It's everybody who has put something into this record. It's just so much better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
I thought it was going to be so like simple and just me and my guitar. It doesn't have to be anything big for the first one, blah 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 blah, and it just sort of took on a life of its own.
Well,
and
good.
I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I think we have time for just one more short
just
song.
one more.
Yeah.
A short song? How short? Give me minutes.
About 3 minutes. 3.
Well, then I guess it's going to be another fast song in G.
Okay.
Another big voice song. So here we go. Give it a whirl. Here's Kentucky. Come on, baby, let's just run away. Take me to a better place. Maybe some lovely place like Kentucky. You and me, baby, top roll down. Come on, let's blow this town. 'Cause I'm tired of dreaming about Kentucky. You remember when we met? How could I forget? Cherry blossoms springing up new life. Now leaves are turning green and brown. Oh, the leaves, they're falling down. What better time to take me for a drive? So come on, baby, take me for a ride. I'll sit on the passenger side, and you can sing a song about Kentucky. You know, babe, this city ain't my scene, and I said I'd wear your ring, so you can tell me all your dreams in Kentucky. In Kentucky. I know the way well in my mind as we drive down 65. Autumn breezes blowing through our hair. At Bowling Green we'll hang a ride, and we'll start our new life. You'll steal a kiss, 'cause we're almost there, and it's you and me, babe, with the top roll down. Headed for your small hometown, and we'll watch the sun go down. In Kentucky, in Kentucky, in Kentucky, yeah.
Rigby Summer. You can hear more on Monday night at Monday at Medela.
Heck yes, you can.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
Chad Sullins, Reverend Hilton, and then there were 2, and of course the hostess with the mostest, Miss Rigby Summer.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I am so glad you popped in on us this morning.
Thank you.
Yeah, I look forward to the new album. And
Thank you.
any hopes for vinyl?
I really want it on vinyl. That's actually something I'm working on, as in like today I'm working on that. I have no idea how to afford it.
Right. Yeah, because it's not cheap.
There's a little part of me that says I'd almost rather, if it weren't for some of you darn radio people who need CDs, I would just as soon put it out on vinyl and do codes for streaming, or not for streaming, but for downloads otherwise. But yeah.
You're saying more of that all the time.
I think my next one, that's what I'm going to do. My plan, if we can get it together, I'm going to do like maybe like a little bit long, somewhere between an EP and a full length, like little holiday project kind of thing to release at the end of the year.
Okay.
And I'm kind of tempted to keep that at like 7 or 8 songs and do that only on vinyl. Yeah. Like as like a special. I have a very specific idea for
Christmas
it.
Present
exactly. But it's going to be like the not the anti-holiday.
Right.
I don't want it to sound like that, but like maybe songs that you don't always think about for the holidays, but maybe just kind of holiday adjacent.
Well, I'm sure you'll come back and talk to us about that.
I'll have nothing to talk about.
Well, thanks again, Rigby Summer, and
Thanks
don't forget Monday at Medela on Monday evening. You bet. Hear more of Rigby and her guests. But we're out of time. We hope everybody has a great weekend, safe weekend. Watch the weather. but don't go crazy.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, it's gonna be
just a
short-lived.
little snow. Sure, it was 70 degrees yesterday. Sure, it's gonna snow tomorrow. Whatever.
And it's gonna be like 50 or 60 on Sunday.
So there you go.
So, you know what I say now? I don't.
Goodbye.
I know. Keep your dials right here. 1600 KUSH Cushing. Peace out, everyone.
Bye, y'all.
I know. It's like, well, now what do I say?
I'm wearing my Wyoming shirt today.
I messed up my
Wyoming
rhythm.
shirts.
I like that. I noticed that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm headed back up there next month.
Ooh.
Yep. I know. I set an intention to go back for part of the winter, and here I go. Wyoming and Montana. Very excited.